Good morning. Okay, so I know I didn't close out yesterday's video, but I was exhausted. We did 15.5 miles. I think the Garmin, and I'll put it in the other video with my relive. I think the Garmin actually showed 15.03. I didn't start it right at the trailhead. I got in a couple of tenths of a mile and went, oh my gosh, I didn't start my Garmin. But anyway, I slept amazing last night. Last night was the first night that it was not either freezing cold or so windy that it scared the hell out of me. So anyway, I got in last night after taking Beth back to her vehicle so that she could go home. I got back to Cades Cove about 9 o'clock last night. Billy and I talked for about 20 minutes, and I was like, I'm done. I laid down. I think I was asleep before I laid in the bed. So anyway, it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. Super proud of myself, but I'm sore today. I don't know if I tweaked my right knee or if it's just sore. I don't know. It's really, really painful. A little bit swollen, but take some Aleve and just kind of walk around just to kind of work it out. My left ankle, I rolled it towards the end. I guess I was just tired. Wasn't paying attention to the trail. Cooper Road Trail is like an old trail bed or an old road bed. So, you know, there was a lot of rocks as well. It's a typical trail, I guess. But I rolled my ankle right there at the end. I was just so tired. I was not paying attention. It's fine. Just sore again. But anyway, hold on. That was loud, sorry. But I'm super proud of myself. That was the longest hike I've ever done. I was really feeling it. It took us a long time to do it. Beth ended up running out of water right at the end. So one of the last creek crossings, I went ahead and filtered some water for her. So it was just a rough day, but it was great. Really super excited to get it done and to get that portion of my map done. We'll hike again together. I think she enjoyed hiking with me, and I really enjoyed hiking with her. So today, the exciting thing is we came down and took a shower. There are no shower facilities in Cades Cove at all, and we've been here since Sunday. And we've been here since Monday, excuse me. And today is Friday. We needed a shower really bad. But so there's a couple of places in Townsend that will allow you to come down and take a shower, even if you're not staying here. We are at Little River Resort. We are actually going to stay here next month, but they allow for you to come down and use their shower houses for $10. And let me tell you, this ain't no little campground shower. These are, I've seen bathrooms in houses that were not this nice. Like private shower facilities, not like a shower facility that has, 14 cubicles with flimsy shower curtains that you're going to catch a peek at the person next to you as you're walking by. These are private showers and bathrooms. Super, super nice. So anyway, highly recommended if you're up in the area. $10, and it's super hot water. It was phenomenal. But we'll take you along whatever we do today. I don't even know what we're doing today. So anyway, let's see what the day brings. Hey guys. Okay, so what we decided to do is just kind of chill today and give my sore, achy body a rest. But we are walking around. Okay, so we are at the Smoky Mountain Heritage Center here in Townsend. There's a great museum, really full of like old artifacts and a lot of history of Townsend, Tuckaleechee, and Cades Cove. So really, really interesting information. You walk out the side building. Excuse me, it's only $7 to get in. But you walk out the side building and they have like old buildings and stuff like that. So let me flip the camera. And there's a little walking map. They have a still over here. So we'll just look at some of the buildings and see what they are, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. The first one is, this is where the Moonshine Still is. So I guess that was a truck. Maybe they ran some moonshine in. Okay, so that was the still. This was one of the more, I guess, infamous or whatever moonshiners in the area, and this is his actual still stuff given by his son. So I showed you I took pictures of the different little informational pieces. Pause it and read those if you want to. But that was kind of neat. So they have a little video that's runs about 4.5, 5 minutes on him talking and all that kind of good stuff. So pretty interesting stuff. All right, so this is a pig scalder. Billy, what do they do?
As soon as the pigs are killed, they have this sitting over a fire, and it'll have boiling water in it. And they would drop that pig over into that water, and it would scald the hair off. And you got these saucers that look like upside down bowls that are sharp, and you would scrape the hair off the pig, and the hair would go down in there. You pick the pig up out of that vat, and if it would fit, you'd have another vat with just water that you just rinse it with, and that way you didn't have to deal with hog hair in your meat.
Okay, so do I understand you did this a few times in your youth?
When I was a kid, did it a bunch of times. We killed about 4 or 5 hogs a year, and that's the way it was processed.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's like a little barn garage. It looks more like a garage than anything else. Look at that. Fancy. What's that?
I think this is a seeder. You put your seeds up here, and you can open the valves right here, and as it cuts that down in there, it goes down, puts the seed down, and covers the seed up. Puts it in the row.
Okay.
It's coming in, it pulls the dirt over the seed. I think, I'm not 100% on this one. That's just farmland in there.
All right, so this is a smokehouse. So Billy said earlier, God, I feel old because I know what some of this stuff is, but you know, Billy is not a super old guy, but what it is he grew up more or less on a farm with a father who, when people say they were dirt poor, the floor of his house growing up was literally dirt. They didn't have power and all that kind of stuff. Their refrigeration was actually a stream that they would put stuff down in. So Billy grew up with a dad who did this stuff, and so he always provided. So it's really interesting that he can tell me, you know, stuff like when they would slaughter their pigs and kill their hogs, what he just said that they did with the scalding and stuff, they would then hang them just like that. And his dad, when they wanted some meat, would literally come out here, not to this one, of course, but to theirs, and literally just slice what they needed for their meal. So that's actually pretty cool, guys.
This isn't a real true representative either, because once it come out, if they were smoked, then this could be possibly a smokehouse where it funneled smoke in to cure the meat. But if it was salt cured, there would be a section of this cut cordoned off, walled up, and that would be the salt room, and that's where you would put the salt over all the meat, and it would just hang there until the salt did its thing. And then once it was cured like that, it would be brought out into a cool room, and it would hang covered in salt.
Well, that's cool.
There should be a pipe coming in from a firebox out somewhere, and if the pipe would be 20 or 30 foot long, because that would cool the smoke down before it got into the building. You didn't want to cook it, you just wanted to smoke cure it. So that was how you had to keep the fire going 24/7 for X amount of time, depending on how much meat was in there. Very cool.
And folks, where we used to live, you know, we live down at the bottom of the hill now, but at the top of the hill where we used to live, out beside his mom and dad's house, the smokehouse is still there, where they would smoke all their hogs. It was very cool to see it and to look in it and see what they were doing up there. All right, so what is this, Billy?
I'm not sure the official name, but my dad had one, and he used it to mash scuppernines to make wine for communion at his church. And they would use this to mash the juice out and then do whatever they had to do to make wine for it. And they would have wine with unleavened bread at communion in their church.
Huh.
Of course, yeah.
So what do you have? You have just...
This is wool, sheep's wool, and it's been, they call this painting, hand painted.
Okay.
Because of the different colors. But anyway, it's a sheep's wool roving, and I'm spinning it. This is drafting, where I pull out the fibers.
Okay.
And then the spinning wheel puts a tremendous amount of twist into the fibers, which turns it into a strong thread.
Very cool.
And that's the start of your fabric.
Okay.
So you make your yarn or your thread, and then Patty's got a weaving started. So, of course, you can't weave if you don't have the thread or the yarn.
Well, that makes perfect
Yes.
sense.
But this is what I used to snake logs out of the woods with, was when I worked at the sawmill. I just hooked to them, pull the logs out, because they're three-wheel designs, so you don't get into your farm rows, your garden rows. But another good thing about them is they'll turn literally in a circle. These wheels will come this way, and they'll it's real maneuverable. But this right here, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know this for sure, but I'm almost positive that was a belt drive that you could hook up and run a mill or run whatever with. Yeah, the water source coming in. This would be your first pressure gauge. Should be another one up there somewhere, but tell you how much pressure is generated. And as it builds up steam, kind of like a locomotive, it's got these belts on here, and these belts, well, that's a lot. But anyway, this belt is obviously turning that grinder there, and that belt over there be running something else. And you could hook it and move it with horses. You know, you could pull it wherever you wanted to. If it was running a sawmill, you could literally take it out into the woods. You don't have to handle the trees as much. You just mill them right there in the woods. But I don't know what kind of mill this is. Some kind of grinder. It looks like they might have been grinding wheat or something. I don't know. First job I ever had when I was 14, I was a slab thrower on a sawmill. It was diesel powered, but it's basically same basic thing, except yeah, that one has teeth in the blade too. This carriage would go back and forth, and the carriage operator would be over there on the other side. The lumber would fall off over there, slabs would fall off. Same thing, you'd be right over there throwing the slabs and the lumber going through. And that big arm coming up over there, that's what makes the carriage go back and forth. And then he's got an arm, can't hardly see it, but he's got an arm that inches the log that way depending on how thick he wants the lumber, whether it's 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever. And then that can hook hanging on the log, that's to roll the log. As you'll cut a side off, and now you want to make it square or whatever, you grab that, hook it into the tree, and you can roll that entire log. And then it comes down through the saw, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's 3 little holes in each one of those teeth, and that's for a key that fits in there. And if the teeth ever get to the point they've been sharpened so much they can't be sharpened again, you stick your little tooth key in there, and you just twist that key right out and put a new tooth in. Nowadays, a lot of them use band saws instead of a blade saw like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we went through the Heritage Center. Of all the times that we've come to Townsend and in this area, we've never been through the Heritage Center, and it was really neat. For $7, I highly recommend going through. I mean, we just spent almost 2 hours here, just kind of walking around, looking at the buildings, reading about the stuff, going through the museum. So it's a good amount of time for $7. Kill a little time.